For me, activating background knowledge is probably the most important strategy for engaging students and leveling their knowledge. For students who have background in a topic, it jumpstarts their memory so that they can add to their knowledge, so that they have a base from which they can start building and adding new pieces of information and knowledge in an organized way. For students who don't have background or have no prior experience, using VoiceThread to activate background knowledge actually works to level the imbalance. The multimedia pieces give you a good mix that lets students get a quick media experience, and it builds their background so that they can actively participate in the discussion. So even students who don't have any background information in a topic, once you do an activating background knowledge activity with them, they will have some information to start building on. For 21st century learners, it is really important that they see things and that they have those visual cues. Videos and images are much more effective than text when it comes to activating or leveling background knowledge. The rich visuals give students something solid to grow from and a picture in their mind, and something that they can connect to for the rest of the theme or activity that you're working on. Let's go ahead and take a look at a VoiceThread that I made for my freshman students before we read Ishmael Bea's A Long Way Gone. My students had no background about this particular topic, about the Civil War or the diamond trade in Sierra Leone. They had no idea what was going on there. This was completely foreign to them. So activating their background knowledge had them talking and thinking about what it means to go to war, why children used as soldiers is a bad thing, and how to kind of wrap your head around this idea that this isn't a story about grown-ups, this is a story about kids, and that fundamental phase of growing up, only they're growing up as grown-ups in a war. And so they needed some background for that. I'll go ahead and show you the VoiceThread. There are 8 slides on my VoiceThread, and I'm actually going to show you the one with student comments. So these are my students and their comments for each one. The first thing that I did, ooh, you can just barely see it. The first thing that I did is I give a little background information on what they're supposed to be doing. Now I went over it with my kids, but this was a way to remind them once they actually got on VoiceThread what they were supposed to do. So it just says, hi, this is a VoiceThread talking about your background knowledge. Before you read the book, you can choose your comments, and I'd already shown them this so that they knew what I was talking about. And then so some of them commented on this first one. Then I get to the next one, and I have this picture of a child soldier with a submachine gun in flip-flops and a teddy bear backpack. And I asked them, you can see in my comments here, I asked them to take a look at the picture and juxtapose these images of child and soldier. Now, obviously, I had gone over the word juxtapose and put it in context for them before, so they knew what that meant. It was one of our previous vocabulary words or literary terms, and so they knew what that meant. I wasn't throwing out the word juxtapose for no reason. But this image is really powerful, and I got some great comments like, I can't believe that kid has a gun. One kid said, he's holding that gun wrong. How old is this kid? So I get lots and lots of comments. Sorry, you can't see the whole thing there. It lets kids have a chance to comment and make connections and share their personal experiences and really dig deep into what they know and what they want to know. You have a lot of sympathy comments. Some of the comments, some of the ones that were most powerful for me was comments like, wow, that looks just like, and then they'd say somebody, their little brother, or this kid down the street, or this kid that I used to know in middle school. And so there was these really deep personal connections to a child that obviously none of them knew. But just seeing him in this position, in this vulnerable position, was really, really important for them. So when you're looking for images, staying doing a webcam, when you're looking for images, make sure that you have something that's powerful and something that really gets students talking. I'm going to the next one. So in addition to images, I also used videos. And this video will play in the background. I actually have the sound turned down. This one, I do believe, if I look at my comment, this one is, give me just a second, I wrote it out here. This one is, yeah, The Soldier on the Run. Okay, so this is a real short documentary about this man who was on the run for 10 years. And his family had gotten killed. The soldiers were chasing him. He was on the run for 10 years. And so we talked about all the different things that he would miss by being on the run and not having a stable place to be. We had some really personal connections to this too. Things like, yeah, my parents move around a lot. I've been to these many schools. And so kids are building their own connections and ways of looking at this particular topic. Seeing it from different angles, from different perspectives, and then trying to personalize it and make it something that they can relate to. Now, obviously, none of them are in a war or going through what these people are going through, and yet it's a human experience to need to feel that sense of security that comes from a sense of home. Okay? This is the fourth one. This is an interview with Ishmael Bale, and his interview is fantastic. I mean, he is a child from Sierra Leone. They don't have a lot of money. He wasn't raised in a really wealthy society, and yet he speaks so well. And he speaks English so well. And he actually, as they go through, he learned English from listening to rap music, which is crazy. And then he went through rehabilitation and learned English through social workers that were helping him out. But he's very well spoken, and that's one of the comments that can say, wow, how old is this kid? He speaks so well. But to see him and then know that they're going to be reading a story about him as a soldier who killed people, they're just like, wow, that just doesn't seem right. And so as they get towards the end of the book, a lot of kids go back and watch this video, and it just blows their mind that he is the same kid that killed all of those people. This is a PowerPoint that I found online, and it does a really good job of just giving a quick history of the events in Sierra Leone and why there's a civil war there and the whole, blood diamond industry. And so this gives them some historical information that they would not otherwise have. It gives them a little bit of context for why people are fighting, and it's actually, I looked for a long time trying to find something that was interesting and exciting. This has a great soundtrack in the background. It goes really fast. It's an excellent text for this particular topic, and I just wanted them to have some background information. This is a video that shows a rehabilitation camp or a camp with survivors in it, and these people are watching a movie on the screen right here, and the movie is about the war in Sierra Leone. So it's the people of Sierra Leone watching a film depicting what's going on in their country, and then they have their reactions to it, and them saying, yeah, that happened to my friend, this happened here. It's a very graphic video. They actually show people getting shot in the street, and so I tell the kids that if they don't want to watch this one, they don't have to, which of course makes them go straight to this one and want to watch it. But the point of a video like this is to give them that sense of this really happens to real people, because the violence isn't movie violence, it's real violence. And immediately after this real violence, they have people talking about it and how it disrupts their family and how their country is torn apart and how violence is a bad thing. And so it's a very non-hyped version of violence, and I wanted them to have that in their visual repertoire so that as they were watching, they weren't thinking, oh yeah, blow it up, yay. They were thinking, wow, this really affects real people. This is another video. This is a documentary from Children on the Frontline, and it has also a lot of these very graphic visual images next to interviews with people who lived through it. And so you, once again, you get this graphic. It's not nearly as, I don't want to say light, but it's not nearly as personal. It's a lot more pulled back. And so you get more of a picture of all of these children and how it affects children on the front line of war. And then I've got one more video, and it's a persuasive video. And this is a great place where I can have kids talk about persuasive techniques. And if you were trying to persuade someone to give money or to sign a petition or to do something, how would you go about doing it? And so for this one, they have all this background on Sierra Leone, and now I'm asking them to look at a persuasive video that asks something of them in the end, and then to craft the different pieces. Like, tell me what they do, what's the most powerful part that really gets your sympathy. You know, what are the appeals to emotion, what are they? What are the visuals that really stand out for you that are the most powerful? And so the kids talk about that. So overall, for this activating background presentation through VoiceThread, I've had kids engaged in a lot of different skills. I ask them questions that help them or that guide them through each media piece. I ask them to do particular tasks. I ask them to look for particular things, but then also they get to watch these visually rich videos that show what's going on in Sierra Leone. And so I'll have kids, when we have discussions, they will pull pieces from these videos into their discussion, say, oh, it's like that video where so-and-so. And I was like, what video is that? The one on the VoiceThread. And so they do a really good job of pulling that information and remembering it, because it has jump-started their memories, and everything that they read from now on is going to build on that particular VoiceThread. And so that is activating background knowledge.